Look at that. Mr. Gus himself, Greg White, all the way from Texas in the house first tonight. Joe Orsini here. What's up, brother? Going to be a great show tonight. Well, it will be if I pay attention to what I'm doing and start the clock. Otherwise, we're never going to get this one out of the station. That's it. We're back on Sunday Shop Talk, getting ready to go live in just 4.5 minutes here. Mr. Tom Banks in the house with us. Steve Henderson. Hey now. We got a great show lined up with Mr. Steve Broyles, Dan Toce from Toce Performance, and we're going to be talking about SmokeOut, two of our Legends and Legacy Invitational builders. We got some news. We're just at Gettysburg, not for Gettysburg Bike Week. Booyah! But we did our own little impromptu show out there. Paulie Island in the house, Rob Doer. Good to see you guys. Hey, remember, if you're watching tonight, no matter where you're watching from, throw your name and your city up so we can give you a shout out. And don't just sit back and be an observer. That comment box comes up throughout the show. We want to hear your comments, questions, and concerns. Wherever you're watching from, just type in the comment box and we'll try to get to it throughout the night. Mike Draco in the house tonight. Mike, you got a whole bunch of guys in front of you tonight. You're normally first in line. Rob Nussbaum right behind us. Good to see you here, Mr. Athprod. A lot of good stuff going on in the motorcycle world. Like I said, we were just out in Gettysburg, had a great show, even though it was a little bit rainy. Saw some incredible bikes. Had a great day hanging out with Tom Kiefer and all the cats out there. The Flannel Mafia represented. Kenny Hot Rod here with a beer, keeping it real. Get you some of that. Bruno Coppola, Laconia, New Hampshire represented. Marty's Vauctos, Dayton, Ohio. Big D in the house. Big D, we were just looking at that motorcycle today. Big D Sportster, we call it right now, until Heather figures out a name for it. So, 3 minutes, 8 seconds. Stick around. We're going live with Shop Talk. Sunday nights, back in the house. Rob Doer, that's so cool. Bringing my daughter's SmokeOut bike from 13 years ago. Dude, I cannot wait to see what shows up at SmokeOut because everybody's talking about the old days and celebrating the whole 20 years of culture of that. SmokeOut is going to be a blast this year. We're going to be covering that from start to finish. I'm sure we talked about putting up a live camera just so people can see the whole time, what's going on, but it's going to be a killer event for sure. Lots to talk about with that tonight as we round out our builders list. I think we're up to 18 or 20 of the invited builders now. It's going to be a great room full of killer motorcycles. All right, 2 minutes left. Just enough time for you to grab a cold one, sit back and relax and get ready for Shop Talk. But do us a favor out there. Hit the like and share button. Make sure your friends and neighbors know we're going live with Shop Talk and you're watching too. 1 minute, 48 seconds. We're going live. Dude, seriously, is Pedro the Engraver on tonight? Somebody just said, hey, Pedro the Engraver. Far out. We're trying to catch up with that cat. All right, well, time is rolling on. We're pretty close with this one. 40 seconds. Time to get this one out of the station up on the rails. Let's go live with tonight's episode of Shop Talk. Here we go. Okay, scooter tramps and chopper jockeys all across the land. It is just after 9 p.m. Back on Sundays. We're back on Sundays with Shop Talk. I'm your host, Chris Cowan with Cycle Source Magazine. It is my pleasure to be in the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio, 50 floors beneath the street level. Hey, wait a minute. I was going to lead in with something killer because you had your Snoop Dogg lead on. You had the whole Snoop Dogg lean like you were low and to the left.
I'm throwing down. Don't be a hater. Slim.
Going to be a great show tonight here on Shop Talk. We got the whole crew in the house.
And it's Sunday.
Howdy.
Heather even straightened up for this.
Oh, you shut up.
How's that hair doing?
It's crooked.
Is it? I told you lean.
Like
just lean a lot.
How's a hairdo?
It's crooked.
Hey, right on. What's up, Uncle Bruno? Yes, it's me, Pedro the Engraver. So we're trying to nail him down for an artist profile.
Yeah,
right?
He actually did respond after he verified the validity of the request.
So you gotta tell that story because that shit's funny. I love hearing that.
I love that it happens, and it happens more than I actually tell you. So Amelia Killer Rose, who started writing for the magazine 8 years ago, Chris. She started 8 years ago. Still does our artist profiles. After she gave up on Killer Chronicles because of like this big girl college crap. But she still writes the artist profiles, and she reaches out to people, and I get emails being like, hey, I think somebody's trying to scam you. They're saying they're with Cycle Source and they want all this information. And I'm like, yeah, that's our kid. She does write for us. So he was doing his due diligence and making sure she was legit, and she is legit. So we're very excited to be doing an artist profile on Pedro the Engraver.
It's nice to have Amelia back for a little bit too.
Yeah. It's not going to last long though, unfortunately. She's got her traveling shoes on again, so
her big girl career.
I know. I need to hit that pause button.
On us or Amelia growing up? Because right now,
on us, on everything.
We're forgetting half the shit.
Although if I could fast forward to retirement.
No, I wouldn't pick fast forward. So
backwards
over the weekend, can we go backwards?
Oh, Mark, you and I can go backwards to before we met Chris.
I'll go. Sweet Jesus, I'd be like 14. What happened there? That was like a half a shot.
I know.
You need to get that.
I'm trying to get that.
Hey. Mike, Rob, what events are going on in Sturgis? Mike, what events are not going on in Sturgis?
It's funny you should mention that.
Like, we have something.
When you brought that up. Been there before.
Hey, this is Heather from Cycle Source Magazine, Grease and Gears TV, at the place we like to call home, the Iron Horse Saloon.
You're supporting the chopper culture like never before.
Well, we got to support Cycle Source first because they take really good care of us.
Let's show you Steve Iacona's latest build right here, this red one. My goodness, he has taken it to a completely unhealthy level.
So that's one of the many events that we're involved with. And one of our guests tonight actually has an event going on, and we're going to get to that a little bit here later in the show. Mini bike races, yes. Fridays we do our motorcycle Olympics at the Iron Horse, and that's a full complement of mini bike drag racing, weenie bite. And I have to ask this question. I can't believe that me, sitting here as a grown man, have to ask people, please do not bring dogs that you've taught to do the weenie bite, because there's a couple people from last year that it's just scarred them. If you've taught your dog to bite somebody's weenie,
you have issues. You need a hobby. That's what you need.
I'm just saying.
It was so good. He rode in the sidecar and it was so good.
So Mike Robb, yes, Pimp and Hoe Party is happening Thursday night, the Black Hills Boogie.
We got our outfits.
That's
We're ready to.
Brand new stuff. I'm not doing the platform shoes this year, Mark.
No Frenchy Pukla shoes?
Nope. Not doing it.
I think I'm going to get him some
whole new jam.
Like leisure shoe, you know.
Patent leather, baby. That's how I roll.
Patent leather, like loafers.
You get your pimp walk on.
So it's that's a really good time if you haven't been there. And I'm hoping, I forget the roller girl's name, But
Oh, I hope she comes.
please, if you're listening or you know the girl that was there on roller skates last year,
I think you have to play that promo. I'm going to drop it in the folder for you. Like
ahead.
at some point tonight, you got to play the promo. It's so good.
I forgot how good she was on those roller skates, man. But if you ever, like growing up as a child of the 70s, if you grew up watching people do roller skate, disco dancing, she had that shit on lock.
And it fits that event
Yeah.
perfectly.
It was awesome. We had so much fun.
Mad Stork says you should pass those shoes to Mark.
I'd be halfway up there then.
Dude, that's right. Greg White says the solid gold dancers.
Oh, that
they
was
were-
awesome.
Yeah.
I hope they come back this year.
Mike Robb, look, we got to get him on as an associate
Yeah,
producer
right.
too.
Lichter Ride is on Wednesday.
You know, we're doing that's our what?
It's actually
16?
the Run to the Line, the 16th
Yeah.
Cycle Source Run to the Line. And actually, Michael very nicely reached out to us the other day, and he's like, "Can I come on the ride?" No, Michael, you can't. You're not allowed. Of course you can come on the ride. Duh.
Rob Nussbaum, maybe you should do the porn stash. I am the world's worst mustache wearer.
Yeah, no, that's not happening.
Wait a minute though. Would that be a mustachier?
Mustachier.
Mustachier or mustache aficionado?
I'd shave it in his sleep. Not happening. The fro, I think you should have like a little fro going on.
No.
Dude, if I can grow a fro, I wouldn't be able to fit through a door.
Right?
I can tell you right now.
Yeah, look
I'd
at
have
that beard.
I'd have the baddest MFing fro on the planet, hands down. I haven't had my hair cut in like 35 years. Could you imagine if I could grow
my
an
gosh.
afro? That'd be freaking killer.
So I was telling you guys on the lead-in that we spent some time in Gettysburg this weekend. Tom Kiefer was nice enough to invite us out to the Pike, which, you know, in Gettysburg's heyday when it was really rocking, the Pike was off the hook. Like,
The place to be.
yeah, you had to wait in line to get into that place from the street. And mustachian man beardian. Wow, dude, that's so awesome. It says Facebook user. I can't even give you credit for that.
I think that might be Pedro. I don't know why it's coming up
Man,
as Facebook
dude,
user.
man beardian. I'm absolutely
Man Beardian?
using that. Just get ready for me to rip that off. So the Pike. Here's the deal though. The Pike was in the middle of a transaction, like they're selling from one owner to the other, and they weren't actually open to their full capacity. So normally people show up there because they had an outstanding menu. They did have alcohol sales and somebody was cooking hamburgers, so it wasn't so bad. But
We had a good time. We visited with
did.
a bunch of great people. We had a nice, despite it raining almost all day, I think we had a really nice selection of bike show entries.
And dude, that's what we want to talk about here. There was a young dude that came out from Pittsburgh that took Best of Show. We're going to be bringing you guys a photo shoot of this in the magazine, but this was the coolest thing because it was like a crossover between a steampunk and a 70s chopper, but flawlessly executed. Look at the time that he put into this thing.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And he started with an old Ironhead, you know, like honest to God, just an absolute work
Definitely
art,
steampunk, huh?
right?
Yeah.
But I never saw somebody try to mash steampunk and 70s chopper. But you really did a good job. I mean, just one of the bikes that we had out there.
I think it's great that he's from like 20 minutes from where we live, and he came all the way to Gettysburg
Right?
for us to see his bike.
And he did like practically everything on it himself, hands on. If not everything. I can't remember if he said that he did the engraving too, but he did the paint, everything, like.
Yeah, wow.
And a really young dude.
Yeah, nice kid, very, very humble. It was a pleasure meeting him.
He did the frame,
I was just going to say, he did a really good job of meshing those two together.
Yes, sir. So thanks for bringing that out. I'm going to switch this screen here so Mark isn't stretching his neck so much. I'm sorry about that, buddy.
You do it to me all the time.
I'm trying to turn over a new leaf here. I'm trying to be a responsible
Great. That's going to cost me somewhere along the line.
producer. So, hey, man, listen, you are watching Shop Talk through the courtesy of Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio and all of our sponsors up there in the corner. We want to thank all of them. We're going to take a real quick 2-second break here and check out a feature bike. When we come back on the other side, we're going to jump right to our guests, so don't go anywhere. You're watching Shop Talk. Out of Focus is brought to you by Garage Build. Submit your build, share your passion. Powered by Dennis Kirk.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is a 1912 Flying Merkel. It's 998 cc's. It's a 61 cubic inch. It's 11 horsepower. We just looked at a 1912 Indian earlier today that was only 7 horsepower. How Joseph Merkel did this is instead of the cams and the crankshaft running in a brass or a bronze bushing, he actually put German roller bearings in the motor, so there was far less friction. He created more horsepower. This motorcycle in its day would do 92 mile an hour with a coaster bicycle brake on the back, which is why there's not many of them left. There's 5 layers of leather, brass riveted, all handmade. Rear suspension, and you see the rear end pivots right here. This is where you oil it. Oil, reserve gas, main gas tank. And if you look here, there's your spring suspension for your front suspension. This thing's flawless. Here's your oil plunger. That's what they made at the time. They're called a block chain. The people commonly call them a skip tooth chain. That's just the way they built them. This is considered one of the finest restorations of an all-real, born at the factory Flying Merkel. The restoration was done by John Villian from Seattle, Washington. He does exquisite work, and we hope you enjoy it today.
Hey, this is Chris and Heather with SmokeOut. SmokeOut is going back to Salisbury, the original Rowan County Fairgrounds. The reason why we signed on after 2 decades of this event going on and seeing 2 generations of chopper jockeys come out of it, we wanted to be here for another generation. We're having a thing called the Legacy Invitational. Let's ask some of the SmokeOut OGs, guys like Paul Cox, Billy Lane, Jeff Cochran, Steve Broyles, Donnie Luce,
Pat Patterson,
Bill Dodd to come in and set up. And we've also assigned them the task of inviting a legacy builder, either newer builder or someone that's new to SmokeOut to bring in as their legacy.
From what I understand, the people made this event.
Yeah.
Like, you guys made this event, and that's what we want to bring back.
SmokeOut's back. We're going back a few steps. Rowan County Fairgrounds. Tell your friends SmokeOut is going back to Salisbury. We'll see you in September of 22.
You better get to work.
See how I did that lead in?
So
See
good.
that?
You're so good.
See?
You're
That's
such a
what's up.
Shut up.
You shut your mouth.
So I got to tell you something. You saw the poster. You guys all saw the poster out there. I had somebody, and I'm not gonna embarrass him by saying his name live here on the show. Tom Kiefer, who said to me, "You know, I can tell that that's a Berserker bike, but that face doesn't really look like Paul." And I said, if you knew Paul, like you got to remember the Berserker, that was like 20 years ago, man, that he was riding a Berserker around the SmokeOut. And we all look a little bit different today, Tom, but that's definitely Paul. We thank him very much for being on the inaugural poster.
Way to call your buddy out.
Yeah.
Like, seriously, just back the bus up.
I'm not drop a name or anything here.
But anyway, so the lead-in that I'm talking about, and welcome back to the Dennis Kirk studio, first of all. The lead-in that I'm talking about,
professional.
I know, is the fact that we have the Legacy Invitational. Legacy Invitational is one of our proudest things. You know, coming back into SmokeOut, we wanted to set a tone of how important the SmokeOut has been over 2 decades. You know, and you hear me say that over and over again. It's going to be like the what Pioneer Spirit?
The enduring pioneer spirit for westward expansion. I can't do that.
But it is really, it was like when we started doing the history of SmokeOut and writing that article, and you realize that the biker build-off started at SmokeOut, and the world's longest chopper, Guinness Book of World Records, was set at SmokeOut, and so many things, the mini bikes, the poker chips, like it all came out of that culture. We understood how important that was, and we wanted to show the depth of that and invite some of the original guys to come back and help us reestablish that. And luckily, so many of them were immediately in for it, including our guest this evening, Mr. Steve Broyles from Stevenson Cycle. And we're going to jump on the line right now and not hold back and let you talk to Poppy.
Just Hanging Out in the Shop is brought to you by Spectro Oils. Made in the USA since 1966, the best oil on planet Earth.
Poppy and Dan Toce, what's up, fellas?
Hey, how you doing, man?
Good, good. So SmokeOut, it's funny, like when we started talking about this, I can't believe that was a year ago, and now it's already coming like a runaway train.
We got a month. That's about it.
Oh,
he just took half the time that we do have away. Yeah. Are you kidding me?
Real nice.
That's it. Got about a month.
Okay. I need to go throw up now.
Yeah, right.
No pressure. Yeah.
I hated to be the breaker of the news,
Dude,
but guys, you know.
I'm going to take a line from my daughter. You just popped my personal bubble. Oh my God.
I'm sorry for that.
Hey, and that's normally Heather's job.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I know. I'm the dream killer.
So, Poppy,
you gotta watch me today, man. I got like full energy back. So you
I know.
Oh boy, let me tell you though. I can say, like, you're talking about, you know, people from the SmokeOut and going back in history, and like Poppy's was one of those guys that, like, when you were a kid, remember when your mom gave you that look from across the room? That was Poppy back then. Like, didn't know him well. Dude, that guy looked at you from across the room, and it made you want to go back to your room.
That's
like
right.
You were afraid that he was going to yell at you about something, until eventually you get to the point where he like brings you into the circle, and you find out he is hands down one of the nicest people you will ever meet. But he scared the shit out of me for the first 5 or 6 years before I got to know him.
Really?
So, oh my God, yeah. Like, dude, he'd look at you from across the room, and you'd seriously just want to. Hopefully, your bike started the first kick or whatever, just to get the hell away from him before he said something to you, and it made you want to go home.
Heather, you've got to experience Poppy in his much more tamed down years, because that was the other part of it. He would look at us and we'd be like, "Oh my God, are we going to get in trouble for doing this?"
Yeah.
And then we started to realize he just wanted to get in on whatever shit we were pulling.
That doesn't surprise me. I know Poppy well enough to know that.
Absolutely.
That does not surprise me.
So we're talking SmokeOut, and you were nice enough to actually do in one of the first issues of the magazine that we started writing the why the SmokeOut series, you know, where we were going back and talking about, you know, for people that didn't know where SmokeOut came from and why it was so important to the culture. Let's talk about the beginning days of the SmokeOut.
Well, the beginning days, of course, you know, that was done in Gatlinburg. You know, those were the beginning days. Ralph put together a small ride, and I think they ended up in like Pigeon Forge or Gatlinburg, Tennessee, at the base of the Smoky Mountains. I think about 40 or 50 people showed up for that. And that was pretty impressive, you know. I think the best part of the SmokeOut totally was, and we get forward, let's go fast forward this just for a moment, and we're going to take it to Salisbury, because Salisbury was where everything really gelled, everything came together. That's where you've seen people that were showing their best work, that had a place to go, hey, this is us. This is what we're doing here. Some of the younger guys were coming out of the woodworking going, look at me, look at what's happening here. There was a culture just of its own that was just beyond, anything else. It was for a lesser term, fuck the factory. This is what I'm doing, and I shouldn't say that, I guess, out loud. That's
it wasn't it wasn't really a derogatory thing at the factory, but it was more of an all call for a challenge of like, okay, let's see what you got. What can you do?
Pushing the limit.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. I mean, it was, you had people coming with things that were totally unique, and it really reminded me of being back in the 70s when we used to we used to call them just get-togethers, gatherings. We take rides to certain places. I mean, one that jumps in my mind in particularly was up north, where I don't know, there was about 60 or 70 of us rode up north to a campsite. Well, actually, it wasn't a campsite. We just made it a campsite, and we just threw a freaking great big fucking party. Pardon my language, but that was the truth behind it. Roasting some pigs and having a great time. And before too long, that turned into about 170 people, and that's what it was. It was a place for people of like minds to have a place where we could get together. That was at Bear's place, and I can remember that, having the bands playing, the parties going, the camping going. It was like the beginning of what was happening in the 70s. And the SmokeOut carried that on.
Rob Doer just brought up something that you and I had talked about many times, Steve. He says we worked all year to bring something different to each SmokeOut, and that, like, you can't explain that enough to people. When you see a little bit of it, at some of the shows like Mama Tried and Born Free and stuff, but it wasn't because anybody was invited. Yeah. It wasn't that they were featured or highlighted. Yeah. They were just
bringing it, part
of the crowd.
Yeah,
That's what I'm talking about. That's exactly what I mean when I said everybody came to the SmokeOut. It was like, and Rob is right. Everybody that came to SmokeOut year after year would show up with a bike. They stayed up all night in their garages at times, over and building things and working day and night. They'd work during the day. They'd come home and they'd burn the midnight oil at night to get that bike, ready for the SmokeOut. The SmokeOut was like, for a lesser term, that was the golden bar. Okay, that was where you took everything to be, look at me, this is what's happening. If you had it to show, that's where you showed it, nowhere else.
Yeah, and another thing about the SmokeOut that always totally weirded me out was, like, when you're going to Sturgis, you load your stuff, you go to Sturgis. When you're going to Florida, you load your stuff, you're headed to Daytona. The SmokeOut was like a journey. Every time we went, it was
epic.
Dude, something always off the charts happened, or there was a plan between point A and point B, and
it always went to shit.
Yeah, it never worked out. Or the SmokeOut journeys for us were always, with either me or Chris, or I did a few with Lead Sled, were always like such a project, and it was so worth it in the long run. But yeah, the SmokeOut has a feel unlike anything else, which I think that's mostly what I'm looking forward to, is to get that feel back, that atmosphere. Yeah. So,
well, what they say is, if you're traveling and nothing happens, you have no story.
Right, exactly.
Yeah. There's no drama, there's no story. If nothing happens during the ride from California to New York. Yeah. What are you talking about? Yeah, I gassed up my bike 3 times.
Yeah, you might as well just flown, right?
Yeah. So that's the whole importance of the cross country run. That was the whole importance from going to SmokeOut West to SmokeOut East when we were riding those rides, the long road. That was all of it. Everything was there, so that when you were coming from, and I mean, people came from everywhere. It wasn't like they just came from around the area. They came from everywhere.
Yeah.
And when they got there, the stories were huge, my son, which did the run from Barstow, California to Salisbury, North Carolina, and that was the Stampede. He took that in less than 48 hours.
Ooh.
Okay, and just at the end, within a 30-mile reach of the hotel, he blew the motor. He took the front piston, the top two lands right off the piston, and he had to limp it. I mean, he didn't make it in on the first level. He was in the lead way. They used to call him Tommy Two Tanks is what Charlie nicknamed him, because we had two tanks on that bike. And it traveled. He got pulled over in Kentucky or Tennessee doing triple digits. He still got the warning ticket of doing like 130 miles an hour. And yeah, so that's what the SmokeOut was all about, you know. And you got there and the party was on. I mean, there was nothing like it. And that's what, and it's going to be like that again. I have no doubt in my mind that the SmokeOut is going to be reestablished, and it's going to be better than or greater than it was before. Everybody is looking forward to it. I hear nothing but, you know, chatter.
Oh yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot on the street now.
Yeah, and I've heard multiple people with shops saying they're looking for somebody to haul their rig so they can ride there.
Yep. And
that
makes me
the other
feel
cool
good.
thing. Yeah, that's, you know, that's the other thing about it. These people want to like take it back, even themselves take it back to ride there. So, you know, which
and that's the whole idea.
Yeah,
that's what they did. They rode there. You know.
Well, Poppy, you have obviously, you know, you've been to the top of the mountain when it comes to custom motorcycling. You're no stranger to the big stages. Incredible bikes have come out of Stevenson Cycles over the years. And of course, as soon as and even your participation in the SmokeOut goes everywhere from the management, behind the scenes, helping put the party on. There you're sitting playing the damn drums. Like you're kind of a big kid yourself when it comes to all of this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But obviously, whenever we started to pick out who our legends were going to be, you know, your name was immediately in. And tell us a little bit about, you know, obviously Dan is on with you tonight, and Dan Toce you didn't even wait 2 seconds and you knew you were picking Dan. Tell us, you know, what is it about Dan? We're thrilled to have him because we know him, but tell everybody a little bit about Dan.
First off, let me say something here, just off the top, and I want to tell you that the man sitting there right now is probably a closest that I could tell you to be a spitting image of us together. We parallel in the universe. Okay, if you understand what I mean by that, he's probably one of the, as far as I'm concerned, one of the most. I can't even come up with a word for it that I wanted to tell you. You know, of how grateful I am to have him as a friend. Really, that's the thing that I really want to tell you. You know, I love the guy, and I don't want that to be, you know, like some gay looking thing going down. But you know, I mean, we've worked together. We've hung out together, and believe it or not, just the gratitude that we show to one another when we're together, it's unbelievable. We race motorcycles together. We work hand in hand, and it's like he knows what I want when I'm looking for it, and I know what he wants when he's working, and it's, we just read each other's minds. And I think when you asked me who I would pick, I picked Dan because I see in him the capability to bring to the table the same thing that I would bring to the table without even having to say, hey, you need to bring something to the table. I knew right as soon as I asked him that it was going to be exquisite. I knew it was going to be over the top. I didn't have to ask that. I just knew that was inside of him. He was just going to produce that, period. You know, and wait until you see what he's doing, boys and girls.
We have
it's a good one. You know,
we have to lighten this up for a minute. Mark, I think that Poppy just told Dan he was his person.
He did, and that's a good thing. And Yeah, I don't know who should be more impressed by that, Dan or actually Poppy coming all out here.
Yep.
Hey, you guys didn't get any of that.
Dan did.
On me. You tried from across the room and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I pulled it off.
Yeah, right.
So Dan, I have to tell you, like, getting ready for this show, the one thing that I love about you is, like, you know, the traditions of the SmokeOut. Like, I think it was who's up here earlier? Adam Thompson was saying you re-emphasize garage builders, you know, and that was the thing. Like, nobody that showed up at the SmokeOut was looking to be, you know, a rock star, famous, you know, make $1 million build motorcycles. It was just a culture. It was what we did. It was all, you know, blue collar as hell, and people just loving what they were doing, seriously unimpressed with themselves. And I have to tell you, man, how refreshing it was that we're getting ready for a show and I'm going to look for pictures of you doing stuff and custom motorcycles that you built. And we actually had a hard time even putting shit together to get you on this show, because you don't give a rat's ass about taking the time to take the pictures. You're like, hey, I'm doing something. And here's a man. Before I want to make myself clear about this. This is a cat that is known on the international stage for producing performance. You know what I mean? So it's not like he's just, you know, some guy Dan that we know. He's just like, he's that genuine about what he does. Yeah,
that's going to change. Like, every time I see Dan from now on, cameras in the face, I'm going to make it my personal mission
to build him a photo gallery.
A photo gallery. I'm going to be like, especially at SmokeOut.
Start getting the camera in the face. Is that what you're going to do there, Heather?
Oh, yeah. Like, especially at SmokeOut, because I think we're up to 5 photographers for SmokeOut. There will be pictures of Dan everywhere.
Watch it, Dan. Watch the bathroom.
Broken cameras, man. That's what I'm good at.
Hey.
Well, that just means he takes more pride in his work than his
bragging about it. Yeah,
than bragging and which
you know
to
what?
me is the shit. So,
you know what? I think that a big attraction to me about you guys as builders and people is the humbleness. That's how you come across. Somebody's stuck on the side of the road. I mean, everywhere I land with Steve, we have a line of bikes to fix. and to me, that's how I am too. Yeah. And that's what we do. We do that for each other. That way, when I'm broken and I'm pushing, somebody doesn't drive by and just wave. They stop and give me a hand. But yeah, exactly. But you know, I mean, I'm humbled and honored to be involved with this. I mean, I was a fan of all you guys and all this stuff. I mean, I met Steve with Easy Rider stuff a long time ago, and I was a fan instantly. But you know, I'm like every other guy, reading the magazines and seeing your faces, your bikes, your innovations, and you know, I always felt that I had stuff to bring to that, and now I'm getting the opportunity. So, you know, all the young guys that work around my shop and stuff, I'm sucking those guys into this. You know, that's what we do.
You know, and I absolutely love that. We got to spend some time at Toce's place in Daytona. We threw a little impromptu shop party. Not totally impromptu. I mean, we advertised it and stuff. But the amount of guys, like, you have such a natural scene going on there with the young guys that are hanging out. And you don't know what they wrote in on, what their deal is. Like, it's such an eclectic collection of people that hang out there, but such a good energy.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the energy and the people that are involved make the event. You've got the best bike builders, some of the most amazing talent, and then you've got all these good people that are just they're humble. Everybody's like, you know, in touch with each other in the same. We're all on the same wavelength in some sense, you know.
Well, I think the cool part about, you know, especially you, Dan, is not only like a lot of these guys build really cool bikes and they do crazy fabrications. You go deep inside, you do performance end of it and still do the cool shit on the outside. So, you know, a lot of people will have to, you know, pay a little bit of homage to the fact that not only do you build the bike, but
You're the real deal.
You build the performance of the bike also.
We had a picture up of you at the Sons of Speed racing your vintage Indian, you know, and then a couple frames later, there's you and Poppy working on the race bike. They filled a flathead bike with Joe Orsini as the pilot, you know. But it's all ends, man.
Yeah.
It's just you know, Steve was right. It's perfect that you guys are together
Yeah.
because you fit so well. I'm waiting for you to break out a set of drums or some shit.
He's got to be a guitar player. I've already got the drums covered. Sorry. Not for anything. I've watched Dan back, like he was saying, back at the Easy Rider days, and he was bringing stuff to Easy Rider that was nobody understood. Everybody looked at it, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but everybody looked at it and just went, "Huh." Nobody got it.
Yeah.
Nobody got it. Nobody understood it. I understood it. That was the difference. I understood what it was about. I understood where he was going. To me, the whole concept is just like this. Okay. If it looks just like everything else, then it is.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's it. And I think that's
when it doesn't look like everybody else's thing, then it's that.
Yeah.
There's the difference.
I think that's a big thing here too, man, is like, when you talk about the original days of SmokeOut and what was going on there, that was such an undercurrent because at the time, and I just wrote an editorial about the Horse magazine this month being an inspiration for this very thing. This was a time, if you think about 20 years ago in this thing and 15 years ago in this thing, the industry at large was obsessed with high dollar bikes and big names and big wheels and flashy, and there was this small pocket of people who were carrying that kind of a rebellion for the flat black culture and the working class stiffs and garage builders and stuff, and that's who showed up at this thing. But there were no rules that you had to have the natural patina, or you had to have these parts, you had to have the OEM
Period
stuff
correct.
period correct.
Yeah.
It was see what you could do, and the stuff that we look back on today, and the public school doorknobs and the old time ceramic sink faucet handles, and all that stuff was practically invented in those times.
Yeah, along with the crystal doorknobs, we can't remember those. I mean, those were all over everything. It was really cool. That everybody has a name for everything now, which was amazing. We sprung names up on all kinds of things, from bobbers to choppers to all of this, and this sprouted out of the 70s, was the chopper craze and the bobber. But back in the day, I guess when I was doing things in the early 70s, we just did them because we wanted them to go fast.
Yeah.
We stripped all the stuff off of them. We took the fenders off, we turned things around backwards. We took front fenders, put them on the back fender, and put the taillight up on the top, and we just kind of stripped it down to make it look like a hot rod of the 50s. And I think that's really what was happening. I think that's where we were after. That's that bike. I had that bike right there in my brain for over 20 years when I built it. Before I built it.
I love that bike.
Yeah.
Steve, what do you bring? Do you know what you're bringing to SmokeOut?
Do I? Yeah. Myself.
No, what bike are you bringing? Stop.
If I make it, I'm good. At this point in time, honey, if I can make it up there, I'm good.
Oh, you stop. I didn't know if you knew what bike you were going to bring.
I'm probably going to bring Twister, which was just up there a minute ago, and I'm going to bring one that my son and I put together, which was Deuce's Wild. That's Twister.
Yeah, Deuce's Wild is a cool bike.
The other one is Deuce's Wild, and I've heard from my son that he's going to ride in, and he said he'd probably come in like Friday night for Saturday, which is going to be great. I'm going to be happy to have him there.
That's awesome. Dan, do you know what you're bringing?
Yeah, I'm building it. I'm in the middle of building it. I'll probably pull something else to ride, maybe like my original chopper or something like that. I'm going to bring some stuff, because I'm underground. No one knows who I am. No one see my stuff.
Oh,
so.
Come on.
I'll bring
Back that picture up a minute. Back that picture up just a second. There you go. Look at that. That's not your chopper back there. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
No, but I did a couple. That's what I was going back to. A couple photos ago, there's a picture of the front of your shop right there.
Yeah.
And this is what I mean. I wish we had a really good picture of that blue and black bike, because some of the stuff that you do, man, is just it's so cool. It's like a mix of Mad Max and Tron, and still has some old school stuff in it. And You really have a great approach.
Yeah.
Those are the bikes that I've seen. Those are the bikes that I've seen Dan built. And those are the things that I've seen at different shows that I went, wow, huh, his mind's kind of fucked up like mine.
The first thing you do is try to not do the trend, not build to the trend.
Right.
Own stuff. You know what I mean?
I totally agree.
I've always did that, and I'm a big fan of that. You know.
And like I said before, you're not following a trend, and then when you do put something on the table, the performance that's involved in it blows away whatever you built anyway. You know what I mean?
And then because you made it so powerful that everything breaks.
Well, that's
again.
But again, it's you do inside and outside, and a lot of guys don't do that. A lot of guys do either, the majority of it just outside. They lay a bike out, and like I said, I think a lot of the stuff you build, the depth of it, people don't even see. They don't get it.
I appreciate that.
You're making them blush, Mark.
No, there's
He's a good shit.
Yeah, there's not a lot of builders I can only think of a handful of builders that Will Ramsey in his little direction. You know what I mean? Jeff Cochran in his direction.
I like guys like that, and I think that's what we're getting to with Dan too.
Yeah,
that there's a challenge in what they do, and that's going back again to talk about the beginning stages of SmokeOut.
Yep,
there were challenges. There were things that you did like. Could I do this? Can I find a way to make this work?
Yeah. That's the
Will. Remember Will building an entire
titanium.
motorcycle out of titanium,
Yep.
and even Faye Butler told him that would be
Wouldn't
impossible.
Work. Yeah.
And I remember the first time he was getting judged. And again, I won't say for the benefit of not airing somebody's laundry here, and I really won't do it this time, but there was a great big professional judging organization.
Oh, yeah.
I remember this.
They walked up and they said, well, we're not going to score this very high because your fender's crooked. And he grabbed a hold of it and he wiggled it like this and he said, it's titanium.
Yeah.
He said
the whole bike's crooked. Yeah.
I remember.
Don't follow me.
And
Whatever
the
you
best
do.
part is Will rode the wheels off that bike.
Yes, he did.
I remember seeing him, we were on a ride and he pulls up to the stoplight, and because it's titanium, it's so light. He's literally picking the bike up and bouncing it. I'm like,
and it used to flex. If you followed him, the bike would twist.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Dude, it's coming
I don't know
apart.
Because he didn't lay off the throttle for that either.
Well, he said there was an art to it. So, which obviously, but again, my point, Paul Cox had done it. Bill Dodge had done it. You know what I mean? They found their little inside and outside, and Dan fits right in that. A lot of people don't look at the depth. They only look. They look at the cover of the book. They don't look inside it. Yeah. So.
Hey, we have a question, and if you guys aren't aware, going on over here is a whole conversation of people that are putting up their questions and concerns. We'll get to them throughout the show if you have anything you want to ask Steve or Dan. Adam Thompson is asking right now, I remember that crazy oil tank. Was it ever a problem to keep sealed up?
And that was for Poppy.
I still sell it today.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I still sell that oil tank today. The problem that we have is not so much keeping it sealed, because it has a special glass that I have produced for it, and it's got Viton oil seals in it. I haven't had problem one with any of them that we've sold. The only problem that I have lately is material, and Dan can vouch for that, is stainless steel has been a real pain in the ass, so when we polish the stainless steel tank, sometimes there's a little bit of pitting that goes on, and so out of the 8 or 10 that we build, we may end up with 4 that we can polish and 6 that will powder coat, So that right there, that's the number one, that's the top selling pipe in the world right now, guys.
That's what I wanted to get to. I wanted to start talking about that, because together, the two of you, for Pan American and the Sportster, you've developed a catback exhaust system for these new motorcycles, and everybody that rides that thing is absolutely thrilled with it. But you said top selling?
That's the number one pipe in the world right now, selling for the Pan American 21 and 22 Pan America bike right now. We ship probably what are we at, 3 to 4 a week now? Easy.
More than that. I think we're doing more than that.
More than that? Yeah.
All over the world.
Yeah. I think the last shipment went out, we were shipping to Canada, then we're Australia. And,
We had a Japan. We had a Japan a couple weeks ago.
Right on.
That's
Couple
pretty
there,
cool.
yeah. So I think basically right now I think we're up there. I said a week. I mean, twice a week or 3 times a week. That's as many as we're shipping. So
That's awesome.
yeah,
That's so
yeah,
cool.
it's really good. Now the Sportster that's coming along, which we're still in production with. That's not a catback system. That's going to be a real sweet piece.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be the benchmark for that bike, with equal pipes and just that, we put our heads together, and that's what you get. And I think that proves our relationship and how we work together, because you've got I don't think anyone's going to beat that exhaust. I mean, it sounds, it outperforms everything. Some of the stuff that's coming out for that bike, it's not going to touch that pipe. So we're a little slow ramping up to production, but for good reason.
We have other things coming on right now, Dan. Come on, let's be truthful about it.
I kind of started building a bike for the SmokeOut.
I thought just a little bit,
Here's another good question. And this one is for Dan. And Dan, I know that anything that you come across, you try to build the exact pipe for it. So Ken Madstork says, do you guys have an exhaust for the 45s you're racing? Is that a Toce exhaust? Is that something that's available?
Well, that's kind of the one we made with scrap pipe that was in the shop in Daytona. I mean, it has the right length. It's not pretty. It has the right length pipes, the proper collector. It performs well, but it's not like a production design. I don't know. I mean, if demand was there, we're really setting up to get from development to production really fast. That's like the goal of this year. That and finish my bike for the SmokeOut.
Yeah, and finish the bike for the SmokeOut. That was I think Natalia has the patience of a saint over there just for a moment.
Dude.
I have to give her the kudos for that.
I can verify that. Definitely. Like even just for she was a saint in Daytona, because it was nonstop traffic in that place, and she took care of everybody.
Yeah,
absolutely. You have a good woman like I do.
You asked a little bit before that, and Natalia and Tanya have talked so many times about how alike Dan and I are, and that's the truth behind it. And we'll air the laundry a little bit, but we are so alike that they've sat around and said, well, what about this? And what about that? And what about that? And we are parallel. And that's the really odd thing about who we are. So, I don't know. It's really unique on what we do and where we're at. We're both the same handed. We both think alike. We both drive alike. We both, I just think that either I was born too early and he was born too late, or something. I don't know what. We come from that same grain in the world. There's that parallel that happens.
I think
his mind works the same as mine, and mine works the same as his.
It does. We're very similar, and I think the like you look at all these legacy builders and all the OGs and everything, like everybody does have a connection, but we all have one big connection. But it's the kind of people we are. It's not just the kind of bikes we build and the culture we're into. Like all of us work together, and I mean, me and Steve, it's just it works. It just works. No matter what we're doing, it happens. It's like very organic, and I'm proud to be affiliated with Steve. Just from the respect he gets from everybody else in the industry, and I respect everybody. Like he taught me to.
Well, you have a point there.
Yeah, you just got to learn how to look across the room, though, Dan. Like when Mark's fucking up and shit, you just got to look across the room and give him the eye. That's the thing.
Yep.
So
I learned that tonight. Thanks, Mark.
Yeah.
He was just like a kid. He was just like a kid at the SmokeOut.
Yeah, go to your room.
What?
Yeah, he'd walk by the lead sled. He'd walk by
with you, Mark.
He'd walk by the lead sled trailer, and the music would shut off. Yeah,
turn it down for me.
Yeah, it's funny. It's funny because you were saying that how people are alike, and even in that whole group, how they're like. Well, I agree with you, and I think that's possibly why people don't kill each other at these events, because everybody thinks they're so different. And in all reality, a lot of us are almost exactly alike. We have a lot of the same work ethics, and we may not build the same things or see things the same way, but we have the same end result. Like it's all for everybody. It's not for yourself. And I think egos, thank God egos haven't taken over the world here, because boy, that would be, could you imagine if that whole group of people got mad at each other? That'd be a horrible fight. So, but yeah, I agree. The likeness of a lot of people, you know, is it's more aware.
I think you're feeling it, Mark. I really think you're feeling it. I think you're understanding where my brain comes from at that point. You know what I'm saying? When I say people are like that, and you got that the alike. Okay, when I say, you know, people come to these events because they're people with the same things that they all kind of like together.
Yeah, right.
You know, they have the same likeness, right? And that's what it's all about. It's a brotherhood. Okay,
Yeah.
let's look at it that way.
And
right?
respect.
It's a brotherhood of motorcyclists, you know.
And it's a respect too. Like I said, I think, you know, kidding around about how you were scary. It wasn't as much as you were scary, but I think there was so much respect there that I didn't want to walk up to somebody like you and say something stupid.
And
you know
remember a time when shit like that was important, and you used to show up and keep your mouth shut for a little while because you had respect for the thing itself and the people that were there and were older than you and were doing it before you.
Right, and respecting what he did. And, you know, it was almost being very intimidated at that point. And then, like I said, when I got past that and got to know you, I sort of felt stupid because, you know, maybe I didn't take the chance to, you know, not like Chris said, dude, when we were younger those days, you didn't walk up to a guy like you in a situation like that and say something dumb. You'd end up out on the outside you'd end up on the outside of the fence. But, you know, getting to know you and getting to exactly what you just said, all those same mind-like people coming together for the same purpose, you know, really it's, and luckily over all these years, 25, 30 years of me and Chris being together here, we felt every bit of that, from the little guy, now a little bit more, as much as you hate to say my beard, the gray beard. Yeah, we've got there. You know what I mean? Like, people come up to us and this Steel City blacksmith, Josh.
Oh,
like,
dude, that
this
kid is so cool.
A lot of times he'll call just to ask not only your opinion, but your approval. And he doesn't need it. He can do it himself.
He's killing it.
Yeah, and he's. But it's nice to see that, almost like I said with you, to see that from a distance. You know, Josh sometimes is the same with me and Chris. He wants your approval, not as much your opinion or how he'd do it, but and I think that's how I was looking at it. But it's nice now that it's a big group and we all feel the same way. And the SmokeOut's making that all come together.
Back in the 70s when we were younger, you know, we did not have, and this is what it was, we didn't have the motorcycle, I guess, civilian groups that we had back in the 90s. In the 90s, things sprung out and the motorcycle craze came on strong, and civilians bought in, and more people sprung up that were doing motorcycles with the Harley Davidson world, and it became a craze in a sense. Okay, back in the day when I started riding back in the 70s and building bikes and riding motorcycles back then, it was a lot of club stuff. I mean, I truthfully tell you that, you know, you learned what, you know, respect was, you learned what, you know, honor was, you learned all of that, you know, so you carry some of that with you as you grow up through the 70s into the 80s and then into the 90s. I was pretty hardcore back then, 70s and 80s. You know, I was a pretty hardcore guy, you know, and that's pretty much where I carried that weight on my shoulders and went with that. You know, it took a lot because you dealt with that demeanor with people, you know, that you were out there with, you know, and so that's how you rode with it, you know. So as you grew further up and learned that things change, you know, all things change. You know, you either change with what's happening, or you stay rigid and cold, you know. So
yeah, but look at the SmokeOut. Look at what that brings. That's kind of you know, if you build a custom bike and you go to the gas station and somebody that doesn't know anything about motorcycles says, "Oh, nice bike," and all that kind of crap, you're like, yeah, thanks, But when you go to the SmokeOut and people, your peers and guys that are like doing the garage stuff just like you are looking at your bike and being like, "Man, that's badass. Like what you did there, that's cool." Like you with intake induction stuff that you've just, changed the whole game on. Like that stuff, a lot of people don't understand that. The mainstream public that came in buying Texas choppers and bikes with mirrors and signals and all that crap, they didn't get what everybody was doing. And this underground movement of SmokeOut really did. I mean, that made it, right to do this stuff. I don't build a bike for all the people that come to the show. I build it for my friends and you guys to be blown away, and to push my own limits.
Yeah.
So I think the SmokeOut was like a good stage for that, and it perpetuated that whole culture.
Yeah, I think
it opened the door for a lot of people.
Yeah.
It really did. It opened the door for people to come and go, hey, am I okay to be doing all of this? Is this okay? And everybody around them went, yeah, this is good, man. We're in. Let's see this all happen. Let's make this continue. Let's work this, and
let's raise hotel chairs.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
God,
hang on. This is going to take a minute.
Yeah, I can't wait for that again. But I agree. I think something about the SmokeOut. Normally, when you used to go to a show back, and even whenever the magazine just started, and we were super young at coming into this, you go to a show, there would be one or two big wheels. Now, like the SmokeOut, everybody is. It's even the little guys bringing the coolest thing to the table, and I think that's what opens it up a little bit. There's a whole group of really good builders, and that's probably why this invitational OG and them bringing their legacy, is so big right now, and it's turning out to be so great. So I said, we had talked about it before, I can't wait to see that room. You know what I mean? That room is going to be epic. So that's probably one of the things I'm looking forward to most of all, is to see that lineup, and the old guys with the newer guys. And the new guys some of them aren't even new guys. They've been around forever also. It's just they're following in the footsteps of somebody, not bigger than them, prior to them. How would you say that? It wouldn't really be somebody bigger than them, because I don't know who the big guys would be anymore. I mean, can you name 5 big guys anymore? It's almost impossible.
The whole idea there, Mark, was just to be able to pass it on.
Right.
Allow people to, instead of going, hey, look at me. It's like, hey, come on over here. Let's talk about this. Yeah. This is what you can do. I mean, yeah, that's not hard to do. All you got to do is do this or do that. Share it.
Yep.
Hey, and we're doing a lot of that on YouTube and on Instagram and everything else right now. But back then, that was your only in, was the SmokeOut, to go see all of that and ask those questions, get those answers.
Hey, and check it out. Here's like an example of this, right? Kirk Green says, SmokeOut was my first setup, my first time cutting my teeth on the bike scene as a seat builder. How many of those stories, man? How many of the people in the motorcycle culture that would come to be ravenous Billy Lane fans, ravenous Indian Larry fans, met them for the first time and was exposed to them for the first time at the SmokeOut?
Yeah. It's epic.
There was a lot of them.
Yep. Or God forbid, it was the first time you met Ice Cream Man from Hell. Oh God. Right on, man.
Or a few other people, for that matter.
Yeah. I could think of a few. And the best part about the SmokeOut, and I think is being overlooked a lot. Dan brought it up earlier. The hotels, after you leave that little venue, sometimes the greatest parts. I mean, I remember the first time we pulled those office chairs out and almost killed each other on them. Like, it was a joke at first, and then next thing you know, there wasn't one office chair left in the whole hotel.
Hey, think about this though. Think about this. There was no social media.
Right.
There wasn't a crowd there. It wasn't like we were doing that shit so that we were gonna go viral.
We were
you know what I mean?
Ass-hatting, like we always did.
That's the best part of that. Like that was just acting up. That was just everybody having a good time.
I talked about that bike. My son's bike that he rode cross country. On the Stampede. He called me from the hotel and he said, "Dad," I goes, "Yeah." He goes, I need a head. I need a front piston. I need maybe a cylinder. He said, I've got some tools. I said, okay. I said, do you got a ground floor room? He goes, yeah. I goes, okay, no problem. I whipped up there I think it was the day later that I showed up with all the stuff that we needed. And he had that bike in the room, beds up against the wall, desk pushed to the side, okay? The bike in the middle of the floor on a tarp, completely apart, oil everywhere.
Nice.
Don't get me wrong here. Really hope they could get the carpet clean after that. But he did put a tarp down, had the head off of it and everything else. And I don't know whether it was 2 pistons or 1 piston. I think it was both pistons that were bad and the cylinders. And we actually threw that all back together. And he's the one that put the hole in the middle of that driveway when you pulled up underneath that.
Yep,
underneath that tarp. Underneath the thing. He's the one that put the hole all the way through that thing.
Oh,
that
that's fantastic. And like every bit of that, you know, like you're saying, every bit of that, the hotel was almost as big as a party as the actual event itself. So you almost look forward to leaving the event to go to the hotel because you couldn't wait to see what the hell everybody was going to do next.
Yeah, bring your hotel game, Dan.
Yeah.
We're on.
You might want to pack an extra office chair just in case.
Yeah, I'm going to start building the bike. I'm working on the office chair for 3 months.
Get the wheels right on that son bitch. You got to win the race, all right?
Yeah, hands down, that was one of the funnest nights in an event I think I've ever had. Was the first time those. I'll tell you the truth, I don't even know how it first started, but you know, when I saw them coming out, we're like, yep, that's it. Every chair's coming out.
I think I know how.
I don't know if our hotel this year is going to be quite as understanding as the Holiday Inn. Yeah. Just saying.
Listen, though, I think I know where it first started. Who was it that
I do have like 12 office chairs in the garage.
Yeah,
right?
no,
So.
let's leave them in the garage.
Who was it that rode the motorcycle through the door of their hotel room at the Holiday Inn? Does anybody remember?
Well, I can
My
think
kid
of
rode
a couple
his
people,
bike
yeah.
No, I mean
through the door itself.
Through the door, yeah.
No, I don't remember.
Front door?
Yeah, through the actual door.
Through the actual door, blew the door off of their hotel
That's
room.
awful.
It was. He almost got hurt.
So irresponsible.
But my point is, as we all rushed to make sure that the dude was okay, his headlight was pointing up and it was bouncing off the office chair, and I think that's where it started.
Yeah.
I think we were like, "Oh my God, it's an office chair. Get that bike out of the way and grab that shit."
Look, the chair's
God, I'm glad
if
you
you
don't
really,
drink anymore.
here's what I think. Here's what I think happened. You know, Darren, right, from Liquid Illusion Art, was always good with the clown shoes. Do you remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And if I remember correctly, just off the top of my head, I think he was in the chair dressed like the clown, the first one that went around the hotel, but I can't remember who was pulling him. I don't know whether it could have been Pat, for all I know.
You know, it may have been Kevin. I think I remember that.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Dan from what's his name from Liquid Illusion?
Darren.
Yeah, Darren.
Darren.
He had multiple. I remember one time loading him in his car after he wrecked a mini bike at Sturgis. We think he broke his back, and we had to load him in his car so he can go home. Like, that dude was always dead smack. That's the no fish hook shirts.
Wasn't he also the guy at the Rockingham SmokeOut that he got hurt in something there pretty substantial too?
Broke his leg.
Yeah.
Yeah, wasn't that a mini bike race too?
I think that was the big track.
Is that what it was?
Yep.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
always.
that was at the hotel.
Was it?
All,
At the hotel. We were racing around the hotel parking lot.
all I know, Chris, is that I'm so glad you don't drink anymore.
Heather, listen. At one point,
so
honey,
glad.
I have to let you know this. Everybody loves you, and I love you more than all of them. But at one point, we fully are going to duct tape you to the chair in the trailer
No.
for the rest of the weekend.
I don't have to go.
Yes, you do.
Come
No.
on.
I don't think I don't like, no.
Well, I can't say one thing. You can be as appalled by it as you really want, but that's what put this whole thing where it is right now.
It is, and I'm hoping that everybody has a good time, but has grown up just a little bit.
I hope not. I mean, I hope they're still as crazy as ever, because that crazy is what really made
You're gonna make me
these
throw
so
up.
epic. Oh, no, I'm not. You're gonna go there. You're gonna go there and have as good of a time as you always do. I know you're nervous going into these just because you hang out with us asshats a
No,
lot.
I'm nervous because I have to write the checks.
Well, yeah, well, that's
why I'm nervous.
Yeah, keep in mind it won't always.
You mean
be
I got to
us.
behave again?
No.
Oh, can we talk about something that doesn't make me want to throw up?
Well, let's see.
Okay. Let me think for a minute.
Yeah, hold on.
Cool
This might be a
okay. I can't think of anything. Let's get back to the story.
Drawing a blank.
This is going to be a quiet, long show.
So here's
cricket they're gonna play.
Here's something I do want to talk about, because a minute ago I was bringing up pictures of some of Dan's bikes.
Yeah, Natalia sent those in while you were talking, so I threw them up there. Thank you, Natalia.
Where did you throw them?
They're in Dan's Flickr folder.
Okay, well, I'll go back to this for a second while I'm bringing up I can't. I just wanted to talk about like the range of the bikes that he builds.
There you go.
You know.
That's what I said. He goes from one extreme to the next, and yet on top of those extremes, the performance is right there, you know?
Yeah. I'm going back to your album. Somebody cover me down.
Garrett, I don't know what she said.
All right, I'll cover you for a minute. You know,
say,
now you can see during those last two pictures, you can see why I went, hey, this is, you know, the person. I think once Dan and I finally, yeah, there you go. Look at some of this stuff that he's doing. Look at that.
Yeah, buddy.
So in general, Dan, do you have a direction you like the most when it comes to actual building?
Look at that one.
You know, I think that like now I'm building my impression of a chopper, what I think it should be. And it's really cool because I can actually call Steve on the phone and send him a picture and say, hey man, what do you think of this? What do you think of this direction? And you know, I'm the legacy. So, you know, it means a lot to actually be able to ask him his opinion. And, you know, I'm a chopper guy. I like long bikes. I'm stuck on that stuff. Yeah. So what I'm building, that's where I'm at, you know. Chopper is different to everybody. This is what it means to me, you know. It means not sleeping and just working on motorcycles.
Dude,
I have to say that there is absolutely little to no sleep at the Toce compound right now.
Oh, I can imagine.
Usually
and
isn't.
no calendars allowed. No calendar.
Yeah.
Or
daylight or darkness, either one. Yeah.
Dude, I have to tell you guys,
Don't open the door.
The comments are like racking up, like people talking about drinking mixed with mini bikes as a recipe. Rob Doer says I pulled Rhett down the drag strip on his skateboard. Nancy Weems wants to start a GoFundMe for Heather. So, Heather, you got somebody in your corner out there, baby.
Thank you, Nancy.
You may need it.
Yeah, I'm gonna need it for the therapy.
There's
for the
nothing
PTSD
left off
I'm
the
gonna have after
table
that.
at the SmokeOut. Okay, there's nothing left off the table at the SmokeOut.
Dude, it's so spur of the moment too. Like it just pops up. I said the other day I can't remember who I was talking to, and I'd said I remember one year like a couple of us saying, "Oh, dude, we all want to be together. You know, let's all group together." And then like you get there and everybody wants to be together. There's like you can't just say like, "Oh, these 4 shops have to be here," because everyone wants to be there.
Dude,
you know?
that's been the nightmare of the whole thing. Like here's a shot of the event ground layout. We've been working on putting the T's and I's together. But it's impossible. It's impossible, and it's packed already. And I have these last 6 or 8 that I'm trying to squeeze in, and I keep going back and forth going, you know, I know he wants to be with this guy. I'm already up to the stage here. We're gonna run out of space. I gotta make sure I leave a lane for the ambulance. Yeah. I mean, I gotta leave a lane for the garbage truck.
You did not say the word ambulance.
Gurney size. That's all you need. You know.
Heather's earphones are still on.
We can do it with a golf cart.
Yeah,
That's
right.
Don't we have some news or new products or commercials that we need to go to? I'm just like,
no, not a bit. We're doing great. So here's the bottom line. Here's the bottom line. And if anybody out there is listening and you don't know what the SmokeOut is, and you've thought about this just for a moment, and you think, gee, I don't know whether I want to come or not come. If you don't come to the SmokeOut, you're going to miss the largest event ever in 2022. Okay, that's the truth behind it.
Oh, there's no pressure there.
Not a bit. Get on your motorcycle and ride. You know, wasn't there a song like that?
Yes.
Thank you very much. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
Rob Nussbaum, you're not
Play
helping.
motorcycles with the OGs.
Rob Nussbaum just says we need to put a helipad for airlift. Do you know what would happen if a helicopter tried to land there?
Oh, dude, that would be
Listen,
hysterical.
I'm going to forecast the future of that. This is what happens. Somebody needs a airlifted. As the helicopter lands, Pat Patterson has three or four of his goons pulling the pilot out, and all of a sudden Lead Sled goes down in history for being the first people at a SmokeOut stealing a helicopter from the medics.
And don't get me wrong, we came real close to doing it once already, so I'm sure it possibly could happen again.
If anything's going to happen, it's going to be Pat and the Lead Sled. That's the whole. You know, I mean, you know, you guys won't give me a ramp for jumping the pool with a mini bike, so I don't know what I'm doing.
Jump the shark.
Yeah.
Actually, never mind.
Booyah!
Yeah, there's a
What was that you were saying, Heather? Actually, what?
Nothing.
Go ahead. No,
I think
you're
she's
No, I'm
scaring
good.
herself.
all right. So listen,
See,
let's
you'll never let me back on the show again, will you?
Nope.
There's a side of Poppy that I just
Go
don't
back.
like.
Go back to Heather. Go back to Heather.
Poppy, you used to be one of my favorite people.
She's got her arms crossed. She's already mad.
No, I'm not.
So let's
tell.
let's talk about Sturgis for a
If
minute.
there's anybody that's going to keep this thing sane, it's going to be me.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Nice try.
I was backing him up.
Let's talk about Sturgis for a minute, because between now and SmokeOut, we have a little rally to attend in the Black Hills, and you have the Sturgis Old School Chopper Show coming up
Monday the 8th. That's right. This is our 16th annual show. We talked about it a few weeks ago with Michael Ballard and Jesse Dupree. This is going to be the epic. This is an epic show. This is going to be one of the largest shows in Sturgis, as it always is. It happens on Monday, the first Monday of the Sturgis week, and this is going to be Monday, August the 8th. Don't miss it. We're giving away a whole lot of stuff here this time. I mean, I just posted a lot of stuff from Drag Specialties. We just got 2 Springer front ends in from Mid USA. The stuff is rolling in every day. I'll post some stuff on that later. But this show is absolutely free to get in, free to register. You get a free T-shirt when you register. Supplies are limited, so register early. And I'll tell you what, I think it's going to be a great time. I really do. It always has been.
Your sponsors really turned out this year for as far as the prizes, man. They really did. You gotta give them big kudos.
Yeah, they for what it is, I mean, just a short call, we were pushing forward for it. And we have our sponsors like Dan's bringing an exhaust system for us to have. I think that's what he was saying to me earlier, so there's an exhaust going to happen. We got 2 Springer front ends. We got helmets, we got clothing, we got leather jackets. I mean, it's more swag than we did. We've got knives, we've got, just more stuff, jewelry. It goes on and on. I can't even say how much is there, but the sponsorship is phenomenal this year at this show. Their 16th annual show comes up on Monday, August 8th. Don't miss this one. If you're in Sturgis, this is the place you want to be. And I think, Chris, that you're going to be there. You and Heather are going to be there with me. I think I put an invite out to Heather because she was kind of upset about it, that she wasn't going to make it. But now I think that, I think I've got you both coming. I'm hoping.
See how he's sweetening you up.
Oh yeah.
I don't know if I can make it.
Okay, how much ass kissing do I have to do now?
Oh man.
Okay.
I think I'm going to be busy that day.
Okay, no problem. I can see how this is going.
Dude, I'm literally
I'd do anything for you, Poppy.
I'm literally arguing with everybody at work right now to make sure they get everything done, because that's the only thing that's holding me up from being there for that. So, and
if you don't make it, Mark, you're not going to have a beard on the next.
Dude, I'm telling you, we've been having this conversation. That's my big deadline, and for some reason, it's moved up earlier. Sturgis seems to be earlier this year, and my deadline ends on the 7th of August. And if I get everybody's asses in gear, then that means I can jump in my truck. And if I come out, I'm only going to do it for a day or two, and I want to be there. Like hands down, dude. That's one of the reasons I come out there is solely for that show. So. You know, it's
I know it.
I'm
not
pushing.
for the Cycle Source show or anything. Thanks, Mark.
Well, I mean, it's like
way to support.
Well, there's a difference between going to a show and then a show owning you. You know what I mean? There's there's a fine line. So
there's that look from across the
room.
Again,
exactly.
You know
but
I
I
mean?
felt it from the steps.
I
I felt it coming down the steps that time. So, but no, like seriously.
Listen. When we start that week, Sunday, your show on Sunday is phenomenal at the Iron Horse.
Yep.
The show on Monday is phenomenal at the Full Throttle. You know, Tuesday we got more things that are happening. Wednesday, how about the ride out to the ranch on Wednesday? How about that?
One of the best things.
Let's not forget that.
Excited.
Dude, you know what's so cool about that is like, you know, for me personally, 16 years of doing an event, saying that we've had an event going on for 16 years in Sturgis, but getting to the Nemo Guest Ranch and watching everybody sitting on the porch, eating ice cream like little kids. There we are.
Sack lunches.
There we are at the world mecca of it's the biker center of the universe, and all the tough bikers are in town to get their Harley on, and they're eating ice cream, smiling like kids.
Big Randy's so proud.
I don't know. I think I might like them walking away with their little brown
that's
bag
cool
lunches.
too.
I think that's my favorite thing. Actually, my favorite thing is handing out the brown bag lunches because people are legit excited to open and see what's in there.
That's what I was just going to say. The look on their face when they open it up and it's like good.
They're like, there's cookies in there.
Yeah.
There's chips. There's candy. Like they get so excited. I love that.
Dude, last year they were trading.
Yeah.
I know. They're like, what
last
do you
year,
got?
what, 2 years ago? It almost didn't happen. Yeah.
Cool.
Yep.
I had all the sandwiches in the truck and I gave me the wrong address. So.
Yeah, you turned right instead of left. That's right.
Somebody gave me the wrong directions.
All right, man. Well, listen. Thank you guys so much for taking some time with us tonight and coming on to talk about this. I'm super excited about SmokeOut. I'm glad to hear that you guys are hearing that from the street too.
I'm gonna have COVID.
You're gonna have a headache, and it's not gonna be from COVID.
I want to take just a minute. If you got just a second. And Dan, I just want to say that direction that you're headed in with that bike makes me very proud.
Aww.
Thanks, man. Thanks. I really appreciate it.
I can't wait to see.
Really
I'm so excited
I cannot
about
wait
that.
to see.
Yeah, let's hope we're not putting it together in Sturgis.
No, dude, let's hope we are.
I mean, at the smoke out in the hotel room, we'll be putting it together.
That'd be even better.
Hey, Dan, a couple years ago, Chris had to put a bike in the Lichter show, and he was he had to put a bike and paintings in the show. He finished the painting while it was hanging on the wall in the gallery.
And me and Mark put the clutch cable and throttle
I
cable
was telling
and shit.
the story. Shut your mouth.
Let her tell him.
Never mind, he already did.
Did he ruin your story?
Oh, come on.
You ruined it.
I hate when he ruins your stories. Makes me so mad at him.
Do you have to drive the truck while they were working on stuff?
No, I don't have to do that. Usually because they're in separate trucks. We can't all drive together.
Yeah, we can't.
That would be no.
I can't drive with Chris because the speed change differs so much. Like
Mark
second
goes
you'll be
110 miles an hour
Period.
all the time.
Yeah.
Period.
Well, with Chris, 1 second you're doing 75,
And then
1
you're
second
doing
you're
55.
doing 45. Then you're right behind a truck that's doing 35. Like I can't do it. Like I get in the truck and it's 6th gear to the floor, 85, 90 mile an hour the whole way. I don't stop.
Yep.
If you got to pee, you might want to hang on to it because I'm not stopping until we need fuel.
I don't pee, and I'm getting better about the speed differential thing because now I put it in cruise control and I just go. But
I remember more than once Heather looking over at you and then looking back at me like, will somebody please push the gas pedal? Or will you please pass this guy?
dude, that happens because I'll be going down the road and I get heavy in thought and I don't even realize. I see that I'm
I'll be
behind
like,
the car.
And actually, what I do, I'm like, the speed limit's 70. That's what I tell them. I just tell them the speed limit.
Or I used to just say, get the hell out of the driver's seat, one or the other.
No, you know what? When we first started traveling, when the magazine first went national, I couldn't drive more than 20 minutes.
It was like driving with a little girl.
And I would fall asleep.
No shit. We left New Orleans one year in, what's it, 20 hours, 21 hours?
Yeah.
Chris slept 19 and a half hours, the whole thing. Then he wakes up. We're like literally 4 miles from the house. He wakes up, turns the camera on, and points it in my face and starts talking to me. I almost threw him out of the van. We come real close. He was the worst, and it'd always say, "Oh, dude, I'll drive. You sleep for a little while." Would make it to the turnpike, which is 4 miles from the house, and then it'd be like, "Oh, can you drive?"
Hey man, I'm a little sleepy.
Oh no, he'd say we should pull over and take a quick nap. I'm like, "Shut up and get in the passenger seat." Yeah, it's
I did, Mark, when I was driving.
What's that?
I do the same thing. I don't know.
Yo, I gotta go. So I guess that was always a good thing, and that always got us to the event. So, and he did so much. Well, I guess we both did a lot before, but once we got to the event, I usually ended up doing all kinds of stupid stuff, and Chris had to work. So
I think Dan's the king of driving, dude. You haven't never seen that guy drive. That's a non-stop driving man right there.
I'll take him. Me and Chris did 39 straight hours from Reno, nonstop.
Yeah, buddy.
39 nonstop hours. So yeah, I like to drive, so that worked out well for us. Me and Dan.
Let's see for a minute. When you left Sturgis last year, Dan.
Yeah.
Did you stop until you got home?
Nope.
Wow.
That's it. That's how you do it.
Nope.
That's champ.
My truck usually hates me so bad when we get home, it won't even speak to me.
Only to change tires. It's like a pit stop, Steve.
Yeah.
Remember the tires on your trailer?
Yeah, 3 tires on my fucking.
He told me they were matched and staggered special. He can make.
Dude, I think we had it down to a science, man. We dropped the trailer door. It was like roll out the jack, pow, the tire would come off, the new tire would come on. I think we did like 3.5, 4 minutes, and we had the tire changed, and we were back on the road again. I think that was NASA shit right there, buddy. I'm telling you.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, again, thank you guys for being here with us and
thank you
and signing on to do all of this stuff. So I'm super
Thank you,
stoked. You can see Heather is. Look at her head, Bobby.
She's just trying to make up for the.
Oh, don't worry, Heather. It'll all work out, honey. Trust me.
No, I was trying to figure out which way I'm crooked.
Well,
it's the same as my hat. It doesn't matter now. It's all over.
Bobby, your hat's always crooked.
What's that?
I said your hat's always crooked.
Yeah, I know. It kind of matches my head sometimes.
Right.
All right. Well, listen, Dan, get back to work. Poppy,
Right.
I'll call you in the morning. And
all right, buddy.
We appreciate you guys. We'll see you.
Love you guys.
See you in South Dakota, and then
see you guys,
and then in Salisbury.
Love you guys. Be good.
All right. Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
All right, man. Hey, this is Chris. You're watching Shop Talk through the courtesy of Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio. We're going to take a look at some new products here real quick. Hear a word from our sponsor, and then we'll be right back, where on the other side, Heather is going to take us through some current events. Don't go anywhere. You're watching Shop Talk. The product spotlight is brought to you by Drag Specialties, the world's largest distributor of aftermarket accessories.
Hey, this is Chris with Cycle Source Magazine, Greasing Gears TV, and this is your new product spotlight. Today we're going to take a look at the Memphis Shades Black Road Warrior fairing. Really, really nice product. You know, you guys are watching this stuff out at Daytona and Sturgis. The performance thing is coming on really strong. The thing about the fairings, you can get into some of these that are very, very pricey. So having an option like this from Memphis Shades, it's a nice price point, really, really easy to put on. Cool design, and almost available for all of Harley's mid-weight big twins, you know, so your Softails, your low riders, your street bobs, all of that. Nice way to jump into that performance look and still take it easy on your wallet. Check them out today at DennisKirk.com and tell them the guys from Greasing Gears Garage sent you. Hey, Chris with Cycle Source Magazine, Greasing Gears Garage. Man, are we stoked to be riding with the guys from the High Seas Rally. really neat thing that we're doing this year. So in addition to all of the landside events like the mini bike race, and we're actually getting on board the High Seas Rally. We're going to have Xavier and I do Grease and Gears garage segments, live demos on the ship. We're going to teach you guys fabrication. It's going to be a blast. Of course, our virtual bike show. You want to come hang out with us, take a strange and unusual trip out on the high seas with some pirate biker guys like us, go check out highseasrally.com. We'll see you there.
Proven performance is not some sort of empty slogan or marketing catchphrase, but a way of thinking, a mantra, and something we've practiced every day of the week for the last 6 decades. Designed, manufactured, and tested in the heartland of America. On and off the track, S&S Cycle is the first choice in power sports performance.
Hi, I'm Tom. I'm with Banks Brothers Motorcycles. One of the things I want to show you today is our new improved engine puller.
The changes to this machine has been in the arms and in the hands. We put hind joints in the hand to allow rotation of the engine, which makes it easier to get it in and out of the frame. With the angle change, we have equal clamping pressure on them. And over here we have what's called the posi lock, which allows this to be locked in place and the engine can't swing from side to side.
And we're going to show you just how easy it is to pull the motor out of the bike right now. George is actually going to come in, make contact with the cylinders, tighten it down, and he'll pull it out of there.
You lift it up, rotate it, and bring the assembly out of the frame. You see the motor starting to move and it centers itself. This allows no side play once the motor's in place, and it keeps it safe. It can't fall out.
Visit BanksBrothersMotorcycles.com to order your Banks lift.
Welcome back to the Dennis Kirk studio, and yes, Ricardo and Heather, I pulled up the wrong High Seas Rally commercial, but hey,
it's still
good.
happening.
It was the wrong date. I was still fat.
You were not fat.
I was pretty. I nudged Mark while that commercial was going on. I was like, "Hey, how about the fat kid in the flannel?"
He was girthy.
Well, anyway, either way, you're going on the High Seas Rally cruise this year.
Booyah!
And I'm not.
Yeah, and I'm gonna be in hell for that for quite a long time. But hey,
that's all right. I get to go do Lone Star Rally while you do High Seas, so that's gonna be pretty rad.
Everybody was asking us about. Yeah, somebody did say flannel. Look at that.
Well,
Everybody was asking us about Sturgis events, so let's go with Heather to the event calendar. Heather, over to you. The ShopTalk events calendar is brought to you by Twisted Tea, the original hard iced tea that helps you keep it twisted. And I don't have Heather's shot set up for that.
Oh, sweet Jesus.
So, Mark, you're going to do the events.
Well, you guys are screwed. That's pretty much all I got
Mark,
to
just
tell
sit there
you.
and move your lips. I'll talk.
Okay.
Ready? Fuel Cleveland at Hale Farm. New location, bigger, badder, better.
You got to stop. You got to stop.
on.
This shit's way
It's
freaking
like a
me out.
Chinese movie.
Right? All right, go ahead, Mark.
No.
Do Godzilla noises. You have any Godzilla noises?
July 30th, 2022, Hale Farm in Bath, Ohio.
So, Mark, I wanted to talk to you about this because I think we're actually going to try to go out to Fuel.
Oh, yeah, we already talked about this.
I want to see if you'll...
That's the day
you'll
after
ride
your
along.
birthday, Chris.
Is it?
Yeah,
That's
birthday.
a good birthday
That's your
present
birthday.
for me.
It's my birthday.
Look at that. Just like that, I got it fixed.
It's my birthday.
Yay. Do you want me to do Fuel Cleveland again, or can
we can move on.
Can you play the Black Hills Boogie promo?
Not yet, but go ahead and do some of the events and we'll see how it goes.
He just told you.
I know. I asked if he could. Anyway, Cycle Source has a ton of stuff going on in Sturgis. Sunday is our 16th annual Ride-In Custom Bike Show at the Iron Horse Saloon. Wednesday is the Run to Line Kickstands Up at noonish. Lunch will be provided at Nemo Guest Ranch. Friday, Biker Olympics Rodeo Games, again, all at the Iron Horse Saloon. Monday is Vintage Motorcycle Day. Thursday, Black Hills Boogie. It's not on this because it's not technically a Cycle Source event.
Thursday what?
Black Hills Book.
Dude, that bass is getting it. There she is. That's my girl. Dude, Jason was the best.
I don't know. I think Poppy and Wendy should have won last year.
Allman was rocking it. You gotta give him credit.
Mailman's always got it going on.
They spend their mornings drinking coffee, trying to figure out who took each other's hair ties.
Oh, Aaron, always.
Yeah, I think Poppy and Wendy should have won last year, no doubt.
She was the best. She was the best.
We got to get Flip out there doing some skating.
Right?
He's another one that skates
So
like
much
mad.
fun.
Does he really?
Oh, yeah, dude. He skates like nuts. It's crazy.
Chris and I got our costumes, or like they're not costumes, they're outfits. We're very excited about that. Monday, August 8th, the Old School Chopper Show. Oh, sorry. I'm ahead of you.
There you go. Sorry.
Sorry.
Excuse me.
Once again.
Oh, I suck. Fire me. Monday, Full Throttle Saloon Old School Chopper Show. It's outstanding. I guess 16th annual. We got a thing going on. That's Poppy's show. He's been doing that for 16 years. We'll be there supporting that. It's also a vintage day. I think Chris and I are going to divide and conquer on that day, but we hope to see you at one or the other. School's Out Chopper Show at the Buffalo Chip. That's on Saturday. Good show. Sportster Showdown. Tuesday, Camp Zero with Pat Patterson and the Lead Sled crew. I think there's going to be like mini bike drag.
Yeah, there's been an addition to this.
Dirt drags.
We're going out to help them with dirt drags. And this is, if you go to Lead Sled's social media, to Instagram, you'll see the different classes. There's a few classes set out, and it's going to be very old school, just hauling ass through the dirt. But we have a Christmas tree, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
Do I get presents?
Very much probably could.
Presents?
Oh, not that kind. You said Christmas tree.
Oh, no. Not that kind. Not
I
that
tried.
kind.
You never know.
Hardcore Performance Cycle Show. Hardcore Cycles Performance Show.
There you go.
There we go.
And Skinny Tire Bagger Build Off.
Oh, yeah. There you go. And Skinny Tire Bagger Build Off. That is on Monday at the Buffalo Chip.
Yep.
At the Crossroads. August 13th, Hell on Wheels Chopper Show in Franklin, Iowa. That's been known to be a good time. Good Times Motorcycle Show, August 25th through 27th.
Buddy.
That's put on by Chop Machine Cycles. We might be there, maybe. And then, of course, the SmokeOut.
We're definitely going to be there.
We're
You think?
definitely. Well, I'm kind of on the fence. I haven't quite decided yet.
I have a bar mitzvah that day.
Yeah, I will kill you both. I'm just going to tell you right now, I will kill you both.
Well,
Mark, we need to talk about our plan.
Yes, we do.
So lots of stuff going on, man. We got tons of event coverage that we're trying to get caught up on. Actually, in the office, just to give you guys a peek behind the curtain, the storage device that we had for years and years and years, we have finally graduated up to a new storage device. But if you can imagine what it's like to move 20 terabytes of files, pictures, videos, like,
It's not fun.
no, it's not been a lot of fun, but we're pretty close to getting that finished up. As soon as we do, you're going to start seeing more content pour out of here because it's all going to be in one place. I have one 20 terabyte drive and then like 3-4 terabytes, 2 1 terabyte drives, 2 other computers, and the shit is just everywhere.
Mark just fell asleep.
I'm questioning if they're like slices of pie.
Tuesday, August 9th, Biker Bells, and Women's Day at the Buffalo Chip.
Ooh, excuse me.
There you go.
Mike Draco coming in to remind us. So lots of stuff going on here. Like I said, man, we're going to be bringing you more of it
next week, we already have our guest set up for the next couple
Yes.
weeks, but next week we're going to have the impeccable Mr. Roadside Marty.
Impeccable.
Roadside Mart, yeah.
Yep.
That's gonna be good. I always love talking to
Along
Roadside.
with Dan Starkey, his invitational to the SmokeOut. So
impeccable.
Impeccable. Impeccable. Did I mention how nice your hat looks tonight, Mark?
I've been working on it.
That's the greatest response to that. Oh.
You know, I've been parking further from the house. So I've been working out.
So we're looking for you guys to participate. Send your events in. Make sure
Yes.
you're giving our stuff out here. Oh, and the unveiling in Sturgis. I got to talk about this for a second. Somebody.
What unveiling in Sturgis?
Oh boy.
There was something about
Somebody
the
coming
bike.
out of the closet?
No, Jeff Bandito just said yes. Unveiling in Sturgis.
Benedetto.
I'm so
Bandito?
bad at that. Benedetto. Is that the bike they were talking about earlier? That the engraver
I think so.
used a jeweler saw to remove the negative space between the scrolls. I cannot wait to see that. Anyway.
That was way too
I
much
don't know.
conversation.
Yeah. Thank you, Heather. Thanks, Heather, for pulling my pants down in front of everybody.
I like
again.
this. I like this whole thing that we still have the screen up for the people that were on the show earlier, and Poppy's been watching and enjoying the show.
Dan's back to
Dan
work.
is going at it.
He's already working on shit.
There's he's walking back and forth. The poor guy's working his ass off.
Oh.
Look at him go. That is impressive.
Damn it.
Friday, August 12th, Sasha's Cycle Last Call Biggest Balls
Yeah,
Chopper
that's
Show.
during the biker game, the biker Olympics at the Iron Horse.
So right across the street, we'll be doing the Biker Olympics. Anyway, man, let's wrap this one up. I appreciate you guys spending some time with us, letting us in your headspace for a little bit on Sunday evening. Remember, Shop Talk goes live through the Dennis Kirk Motorcycle Studio every Sunday, 9 p.m. Eastern. Sometimes because of the holidays like last time, we have to change that, but pretty much
We
for the
never
last
leave you hanging.
205 issues, 205 episodes of Shop Talk, we've managed to make most of them happen on Sunday.
That's pretty great.
Monday mornings suck.
Right. So until next time, we'll be coming back at you with another 90 to 120 minutes of all the two-wheeled bullshit we can fit here on a little program we call Shop Talk. Same chopper time.
Same chopper channel.
Bye, Felicia.
Oh my God, I think we totally forgot to do the news.
We did.
Yep.
We'd like to thank our sponsors for their continued support,
there
and we
was a
hope you
great
pay them a
piece on it
visit
about how nobody wanted Johnny Depp's bike at the
I know, not one single bid. Not one bid.
McCooney American, Baco Parts, The Broken Spoke Saloon, Twisted Tea, The Iron Horse Saloon, High Seas Rally, Twisted Choppers, Twin Power, Drag Specialties, Geico, Law Tigers, Tech Cycle, Fueling Parts, Lone Star Rally, Hijinks Apparel, Progressive Insurance, Spectral Oil, No School Choppers,